Why did humans domesticate dogs but not tigers as pets? In the process of gradually dominating the earth, the terrifying intelligence of humans led them to domesticate many animals, such as chickens, ducks, cattle, sheep, and akinal seskoy, among others. Domestication means making animals completely obedient. Not only can I hit you in front of your father, I can even hit your father right in front of you. Domestication consists of two parts, taming and modification. Taming refers to raising and training, while modification is the process by which, through generations of selective breeding, humans cause changes in the animal's appearance or behavior. For example, dogs have already undergone obvious physical changes compared to their ancestors, wolves, and have even evolved the ability to digest starch, becoming omnivorous animals. Hey, what does it have to do with me, a loyal dog, if you catch a fierce gray wolf? So when we often see Middle Eastern tycoons keeping lions and tigers as pets, that can't really be called domestication at most, it's just taming. If those animals get extremely hungry, there's still a risk they might eat their keepers. And if they really do eat their keepers, what then? Well, then just get a new keeper. Whether an animal can be domesticated also depends on certain conditions. First, it has to be valuable to humans. For example, dogs can help humans hunt, guard the house, and in extreme situations, even serve as emergency food. Take pigs. For instance, humans provide them with food, and in return, they provide food for humans. It's a win-win situation, kind of like what Qin Shi Huang did with cloning. Secondly, animals that can be domesticated are often social animals with a certain social structure. With a social structure comes an awareness of obeying a leader. Wolves, for example, obey the alpha wolf, and after domestication, they naturally start to see humans as their leader. Humans are social animals. So theoretically, we can be domesticated. We use food to domesticate cattle and horses, and bosses use salaries to domesticate cattle and horses. In essence, there's no difference. Some people might not accept this. How could I, a dignified man, be compared to cattle or horses? Brothers, have you ever thought about this? If we weren't like cattle or horses, then why is changing jobs called jumping the pen? Dogs, on the other hand, have been domesticated for tens of thousands of years and are now completely obedient to humans. So if humans take dogs to hunt wolves, in the eyes of the wolves, the dogs are like traders or collaborators. In contrast, cats are solitary animals and lack a sense of obedience. So humans haven't fully domesticated cats at best. It's only partial domestication. In a dog's eyes, since humans feed me every day, humans must be gods. The beast race will never be slaves unless food and lodging are provided. But in a cat's eyes, since humans feed me every day, I must be the god. Another characteristic of animals that can be domesticated is that their upkeep costs must be low. If the cost of keeping an animal is higher than the value it can create, then it's not worth domesticating. We all know how us Homo sapiens are. People will even take on life-threatening business, but no one will ever touch a deal that loses money. A dog can get by just fine on some human leftovers, and if things get tough, even dad's happy meal scraps will do. But if raising a tiger means it has to eat 100 sheep, then why wouldn't I just raise 100 sheep instead? Besides, if it needs to eat meat every day, then between the two of us, who's really the master? That's why domesticating strictly carnivorous animals just isn't cost effective. On one hand, the consumption is just too high to afford, and on the other, the higher up an animal is on the food chain, the more toxins and heavy metals it accumulates in its body due to biomagnification. Moreover, because carnivorous animals consume large amounts of protein, their meat often has a strong gamey odor. Their meat just isn't as tasty as that of herbivores. Anyone who's eaten bear paws regularly knows that bear paws in the spring taste better than in the fall, because in spring bears eat berries, while in autumn they eat fish. In addition, animals that can be domesticated generally have gentle temperaments. If a dog misbehaves, you can discipline it, but if a tiger doesn't listen, who would dare to discipline it besides Wusong? Take zebras, for example, are irritable and unyielding. As the saying goes, how can a true man, standing between heaven and earth, be content to remain beneath others for long? It's said that, like snapping turtles, once a zebra bites someone, it won't let go, so they're not suitable for domestication. And honestly, zebras are a bit lacking in terms of presence. If you rode one into battle, it'd be like wearing a hospital gown, which would surely make you a laughingstock to your enemies. The growth rate of animals is another important factor to consider. Cattle are ready in 15 months, horses in 3 years, tigers need 5 to 8 years. Back in ancient times, if it took that many years, you might as well just have more kids yourself. Also, animals that are to be domesticated can't be too sensitive or high-strung like antelopes, which get startled at the slightest movement, are definitely impossible to domesticate. So whether it's people or animals, emotional stability is truly a valuable trait. And finally, there's one last crucial point. As we mentioned earlier, domestication refers to humans selectively breeding animals, which inevitably means intervening in their reproduction. So animals with overly demanding breeding requirements also can be domesticated. Take cheetahs, for example. Before mating, they chase each other for several days, and only then will the female ovulate. Obviously, artificial domestication doesn't provide enough space for them to do this. Moreover, cheetahs will only mate in a relatively secluded environment. If humans insist on watching while I'm mating, then I refuse. It's clear that they also need their own private space. Just like us, humans' private matters are only done in private spaces. For example, if it's a holiday and all your roommates have gone home, leaving you alone in the dorm, what would you do? Of course, you'd take out your phone and watch a round of Dowlong videos. But there's something a bit unsettling when you think about it. We humans seem to perfectly fit all the characteristics of animals that can be domesticated. Humans are social animals with a societal structure, and after millions of years of evolution, we look quite different from the original Homo sapiens. Doesn't it seem a lot like the result of selective breeding? Humans are also omnivores, easy to feed. So, is it possible that we humans are also a branch that was selectively domesticated from primitive apes on Earth by some advanced alien civilization?